I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? We're back. I should have did this live. I thought about doing this live for a second, but then I thought about, because I know I might say some things I can't say live. It's another episode of the Mad Titan Podcast. Me, resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington.
And your boy, B to the C, back in the, Dog Jay, I miss you already, man. I miss you, bro.
So we thought we were going to, this is the crazy part. We thought we were actually going to do an episode last week. Okay. Yeah. We're like, because I was in Dallas. I stayed with BC while I did my show at the Dallas Comedy Club. We'll discuss that later. My feelings on that show. You know, I had fun for the crowd thinking it came out. But it just ended up being way too much fun. I want to say this. Thank you to BC for the hospitality. Thank you, Zach, for the hospitality. I, for the past week, have been like, I do it every now and then out here, you know, every once in a while. I'm like, okay, let me flush my system out. I all week ate nothing but salads. Salads with just a different protein content. I might have cooked a steak, medium rare, to put it on the salad. But it was been all baby spinach and tender greens all fucking week.
What?
Why is that, Jeff? I spent less than 48 hours in Dallas. And ate so much shit. Man, listen, first of all, I land. When I get to the airport, in Dallas, BC picks me up. We go to this spot. He's like, hey, do you want to go to the crib first? What do you eat? I was like, what I can eat, whatever. Go to this barbecue joint. Man, here's the problem.
1050 barbecue, man.
1050 barbecue. Let me tell you something. This is something you don't do. And this is what you do. You are supposed to do in a sense, but you don't do. Don't smoke weed right before you go in. Here's why. Your munchies will carry. You will just eat everything you have. Man, that brisket was so goddamn good. Then I had these torpedoes. Then I had
torpedoes. Tell them what the torpedo was, man.
Oh man, it's a jalapeno. It's a jalapeno. It's a jalapeno, and it's cut up in half and it's split open and hollowed out. It's filled with cheese and some of brisket, and then the others is chicken, and it's wrapped in bacon, and it's covered in the goodness of the Lord. And man, all that, and then had, fried okra, had macaroni and cheese, had cheese. I said, oh my God, what am I doing? I just got here. And so
that was just the beginning.
That was just the beginning. And then, other food. And it was just like, I ate so much. And then, let me tell you about the night. So the show was on Sunday. So we initially had planned. So it was me, BC, Zach, his former tag team partner, roommate, best friend, and Maddie Mays, who was featuring for me. We were supposed to go after the show. It was going to be like, we were like, oh man, around 11, we can go hit Whataburger and get some honey butter biscuits, some shit like that, whatever it is. They know what it was.
Honey butter chicken biscuit.
Whatever. Maddie's from Houston, so she understands. BC's Dallas. So like whatever. So we get there. So the place with the show where was, show was okay. They start kicking everybody out because a storm was a-coming. A storm was a-coming. We get in the car, we drive, and all of a sudden we start seeing the lightning bolts. Like, what the fuck? We start driving, we're on the highway. All of a sudden, okay, they go Whataburger. We go to Whataburger, pull in. It ain't 11 o'clock yet, so we can't get the honey butter chicken biscuits.
Can't get breakfast. Breakfast is 11 to 11. That's it.
Like Whataburger literally is 11 to 11. Okay. So we get me and Maddie again, just like fuck good show. Get a big ass double. What the fuck I had? All I know is we in the car. The winds from the Wizard of Oz are blowing by. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So we get our food, we get on the road. All of a sudden, here comes the storm amongst storms. You can't see the road. Everybody driving with their hazards. Everyone except this motherfucker right here. Hey, man, don't you want to turn your hazards on? Nah, I don't like him. It ain't got shit to do with you.
Bullshit. Bullshit. This is the problem. The hazards are to let people know you have a problem. Okay? That's, hey, there's a problem with me. Okay? Everyone knows that it is storming. Okay? The storm is the fucking problem. I don't need your hazards to tell me there's a problem. All I'm doing is trying to focus on the road, and I'm just blank. Stop the blinking. I can see your brakes, bitch. Damn.
There is limited to no visibility in front of you. There's so much water just pouring down. I was so also after the show, I figured if I'm in this storm and I'm going out like the Wizard of Oz, I'm getting high again. So I hit my weed pen really hard. So at one point, me and Maddie, we were just eating our fries at first, and then we just was in the car. We was like, well, if this is how we go, give my burger. And we toasted the burger. So as during the storms amongst storms, okay? Here's what became one of the highlights of the trip for me. Okay. I've seen so many of my comedian friends who go on the road, who've gone to different places, different states and whatnot, and they find different places that you got to go to, things you got to do. And one of the things a lot of people I know who've performed in the South, now I've performed in the South before, but I've never performed I performed in Texas, in Houston a couple of times, but never directly in Dallas, and never really for a long enough time where I can go anywhere. There's this one place I've always wanted to hit. It's a legendary little spot called Buc-ee's. For those who don't know what Buc-ee's is.
What's it called again? No, say it again.
Buc-ee's. And every time I say it with so much excitement. Do y'all remember that Key and Peele sketch, the slap ass sketch? Like, slap ass. And so when Keegan tried to console Journey, he's like, I'm so excited. That's how I felt. I'm so excited. Like when you see a big ass, just slap ass. I was like, Buc-ee's. He was like, yo, we're going to take you to Buc-ee's. When I tell you, I lit up like a kid at Christmas. I was running my mouth like, oh my God, we're going to Buc-ee's. I was so excited. We got to Buc-ee's. I've never been in a Buc-ee's before. Buc-ee's is just a truck stop, like a grocery store at the same time. And oh my God, it is wonderful. Let me tell y'all what the fuck happened. I walked in. First of all, I don't think white people ever seen black person with that much black boy joy in it. History.
I don't think they have. Not there. Not out in
ever. Man, I'm in Buc-ee's. I'm like, oh my God, I want a Buc-ee's shirt. I want a hat. I want a hoodie. I ain't got no money. So it's a grocery store. Like, where's the energy drinks? Which, by the way, at this point, didn't really need one. Okay.
No.
I was off the energy of the Lord. So we go and I'm like, oh my God, it's so much. They're like, yo, you got to get a sandwich. A sandwich? They cutting up brisket and shit. It's a meat sandwich. It's brisket and ham and sausage. I was like, I don't need this. Then there was a cheesesteak. And I was like, what the fuck? I was losing it. I was like, oh my God, it's so much. Then I saw the energy drinks in the back. I was like, holla glory. Went to this. I was like, why is there a Kool-Aid one? This is death. And then,
Kool-Aid energy drink.
A Kool-Aid energy drink.
Welcome to Texas.
I said, why the fuck is there a Kool-Aid energy? He was like, welcome to Texas. So I go down the aisle. I saw a pregnancy test. I do not understand why for the life of me. Cannot explain it to this moment. For 25 minutes, I was obsessed with buying a pregnancy test. Why? Because I was in Dallas, Texas. I figured they was going to ban them pretty soon. I was like, what about a pregnancy test?
Hey, you don't need to know if you're pregnant. Just, baby pops out. Let's send it to war.
He was like, hey, you got to have the jerky. I don't want no goddamn jerky. I'm sitting going through a thing like an adult child. They was like, yo, get you one of the brisket sandwiches. I got a sandwich. Then BC and Zach said, hey, you tried the fudge? What fudge? He's like, you should try the fudge. No, I shouldn't. Yes, you should.
No, you shouldn't. But you
They was like, hey, try a piece of the fudge. See if you want to buy some fudge. I don't think I should get no fudge. So I go over to the fudge. I was like, they was like, try one. She was like, what type of fudge you want? I was like, I want this blueberry cheesecake fudge. That was a problem. Why was it a problem? Because that shit was sugary goodness, cheesecakey, fudgy deliciousness. I said, they watch me on camera, put the fudge in my mouth and go, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. And it wasn't a bad oh no. You know that oh no, you're like, oh no, if I don't get away from this, I'm gonna buy it all. I said, get me away from this. Man, let me tell you something. Then, with that, I had my Bucky's hat. I bought a Bucky's hat like this. I got a skull cap. I don't know why the fuck I bought a skull cap in June.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh my god. This dude, I'm just.
I didn't realize it's like I didn't think about it in the moment. And I was like, yo, you bought a skull cap
in June in Texas.
In Texas,
it's 97 degrees.
Which also begs the question: why the fuck was skull caps out in June in Texas? The hoodies was out, like big ass hoodies. I'm gonna tell you something. If I could have found a 3XL, I was buying that Bucky's onesie. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you. And
hey, like I said, man, weather changes on a dime. You never know. Maybe you do need a.
Almost bought them. I was gonna put up all my credit cards are maxed the fuck out. No one is donating to my GoFundMe in a minute, which you can still donate to. I don't know how I'm paying rent next. Like literally, when I put up the GoFundMe, it was to help pay my rent for the next couple of months because it was like, yo, I can't really work after the surgery. Which, by the way, speaking of the show, I was like, ooh, if this show packs out, I can be able to pay the bills. That didn't happen. Why? Because the storm was coming. So they moved me from rooms, and the room they moved me to, which was a little bit smaller, but the amount of people that packed up. This is another thing. The club told me, forgot to bring this up. I'm all ADHD right now. The club told me, hey, we normally don't have walk-ups, so you really got to try to push it. You mean you all don't try to push it? No, we want you to do it. Okay, cool, whatever, fine. I got walk-ups. People walked up to bought tickets. It was like a whole family, black people there. They was like, I had the owners to come up to me afterwards. They was like, we didn't know people were gonna get walk-ups, especially during storm. Yeah. Can now imagine if you'd have promoted me, which also pissed me off about the club, because here's the thing I meant to say, and I know we got to talk about the shit. We 13 minutes in, ain't talking about no nerd shit yet. But here's what else pissed me off. And I'm gonna say this.
It's barbershop top, man. This is how it goes.
Thank you. Remind people. As a person who has busted his ass in this industry for 15, 16 years, who has busted his ass to not only prove but earn the right to be called a headliner. When, I know there are times when if there's a major headliner, I'll be the feature for them. But when I'm fortunate enough to be headline a club, I know it's because my talent and my ability to do so, et cetera, et cetera. I would at least expect the venue to have the promotional poster for me up.
Yeah.
One a single one up. Now, I do feel hella disrespected by that. I will openly admit that. And the club was like, hey, oh my God, you got walk-ups. We would definitely love to have you come back and blah, blah, blah. And one of the owners was like, hey, maybe next year when you have more material. I said, yo, I only did 30 minutes. I have over 2.5 hours.
Hold on. Hold the fuck on. He said he only did 30 minutes. I've seen Jay a lot. I've helped you with your specials. I've been to a lot of shows. I just hang out and like to go to your shows. I just, we're friends. I like to see you do your comedy. So I've seen a lot of your material. I've heard you work on your material. The entire show, I ain't heard a single one of those fucking jokes. They were all brand fucking new that he came up with on the damn spot because they were all about everything we had done in 2 days. That's how fucking talented Jay Washington is.
Thank you.
He didn't use a single bit of his actual material, he made it all up for that show, for that audience.
I sat there and talked about, and I've started doing it now on stage. I said, hey, did y'all see the greatest breakup ever happened on Twitter? And been talked about I was like, yeah, I've never so much in my life rooted for ketamine before. And motherfuckers went crazy.
Nuts.
And so to sit there and say that to me, I felt was a little bit, disrespectful. To not have any advertisement was disrespectful. Y'all barely promoted me at that, but everybody else is there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then don't tell me, hey, we would love to have you back for a weekend, because now I don't want to come back. Because you're telling me at first you didn't believe in me. You was like, okay, we'll just throw him a bone and give him a date on the show. We don't believe in him. Yeah. Now, it'd be a different story if this was the first comedy club I'd ever headlined. It'd be a different story. This is my first time doing something outside of my normal comfort zone, even before I moved from Chicago. It'd be a different story.
Yeah.
But I've been on the road numerous times, headline weekends. What are we talking about here? Okay, cool. So now the next time, so if you didn't see me in Dallas or Fort Worth area, the next time I come back, it's going to be at a different spot. It's going to be a different spot.
And to be honest, I've been there once before. And I remember it being, an okay time. Normally, if I've gone to spots, it's either Hyenas or the Addison Improv out here. Those are the ones that I know of the most. But
yeah, I get it.
I thought, dude, and I'm glad the amount of people that made it out, because dog, you fucking slayed. You killed it. Maddie was on fire. Zach did one of the best sets I've ever seen him do. The host was the host.
I'm glad you said it. Okay, anyway, that's a whole other thing we'll discuss off air. But if you've been listening this long, you already know what it is. This is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. But normally I talk about, we get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. All right. So there's not a lot, but there is a lot. So here's the deal. What the fuck was that? Oh, that was just your smoke. So I just saw the puff of smoke. I was like, what type of wipe did he just do? On the
my bad.
So okay, so let's just get it. So there's a lot of Superman stuff. So the push for before I even go into Superman, fuck all that. This is your 2-week reminder. Ironheart comes out in 2 weeks.
Did you see that new trailer?
Yes, I did.
It looks so good.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the people which I need to get back to posting, because I've been posting about the bullshit that's been going on in the city that I'm in. Which, by the way, LA is not on fire.
I know.
I need people. This is my show. I can do this. I need people who don't fucking live in Los Angeles, who don't fucking live in California, to shut the fuck up about what's happening in Los Angeles. It's the same way I feel about people who talk shit about Chicago, who have never fucking been there. People go, oh man, the city's on fire. It's riots everywhere. No, the fuck it's not. You're seeing several different angles of three to 5 square blocks. 3 to 5 blocks, not even square blocks. 3 to 5 blocks. It is less than 1 square mile where the protest and all this shit is happening. So the fuck muppet in charge has got y'all thinking, because he hates California because it's the one state, the major state that pushes against him, next to New York. He's got them thinking, hey, this is where I need to bring the military in. No, you don't. You don't. It is less than 1 square mile of regular protest. Yes, people throwing shit. Oh, they burning shit. That happens at every single protest. But that's not how you get a point across. Yes, it is. Actually, yes, it is. And to people who be like, well, what about the businesses? You don't give a fuck about the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care. Stop acting like you do. But the people who are in Iowa, Ohio, Florida, Massachusetts, Connecticut being like, see, this is all the shit that keeps happening in these cities, these liberal cities. Motherfucker, it is 3 to 5 blocks, less than 1 square mile. Los Angeles proper is over 500 square miles. Los Angeles County, if I'm not mistaken, is over 1,600 square miles. You don't know shit that's going on. You're seeing a video from 97 different angles. So you're thinking it's a 97 different things happening, and it's not. It's not.
It's one little.
And I'm tired of people who don't live here sitting there trying to tell us who live here. People who I know who live around the corner. That my homegirl lives within a block of this shit, and she like, yeah, it's just this little area. Everything else is business as usual in Los Angeles. What part of that don't y'all get? This shit was happening on Sunday, right? You know what? And Monday. Do you know what else happened on Monday in downtown Los Angeles? The BET Awards from the crypto, or was it crypto or was it LA Live? But it was a fucking award show. An award show. Stop telling people who are here that we don't know what's happening because you see some shit, because it's weird. Because beforehand, when we told you the shit that we saw, because the same people doing that are the same people like, yo, you see this shit happen? Nah, that ain't really happening. Now it's really happening. Make up your fucking mind.
Yeah.
But again, Ironheart drops in 2 weeks.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Give me. Are we gonna get more into Ironheart later?
We can go to it right now. Let me.
Okay, I just want to know, because you know me, I'm not on the intro nets very often anymore, but I have heard that people are talking shit about the trailer. Is true, or are we?
People are gonna talk shit regardless. People have been talking shit since the show was announced. Okay. Look, this is what we do.
Because I don't see what we're talking shit about, because I think it looks so good.
It does, and I'm not just saying that because it's a black female character. I'm not saying that just because it's the MCU. I'm not saying that just because it's EP'd by Ryan Coogler. I'm saying it because it does. Okay. Also, to the members of the Supervillain Squad, we got a bunch of shit we got to put up there. BC's been doing this bullshit. I got to do more wrestling because I want to talk some wrestling shit. I want to talk this R-Truth shit and all this. But people are going to talk shit. Ron Killing. That's and I want to make sure I clarify for myself. And that's the reason I want to talk about it. People are going to talk shit about this because they want it to fail. The internet and social media as a whole has become one of the greatest and worst things ever created. Mm-hmm. There be this just look like no, you just want it to fail. Look, we get it and I know a lot of times when people say this, they're like, well, I'm not a white guy. So what are you saying? You're a fucking incel. And that means if you're black, Hispanic, Indian, whatever, you're falling in that category, because most of you all do who have these thoughts like that. I'm moving my microphone real quick. Had to readjust some things. So the trailer is amazing. The story, the only thing I have an issue with in the story that I'm glad we're not seeing in the trailers is the full development of the hood of Anthony Ramos's character. Yeah. Yes, we know it's more magic involved.
He looks so goofy too. I'm not gonna lie. He does look really goofy with just the Red Riding Hood take on. And I think it's going to work for the concept of the show.
Yeah. Yes. And so, but it's also, that's the type of character he is, though. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, remember, every character in any comic books, in any superhero series, whether it be Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, whatever the case may be, aren't always the most heroic looking or villainous looking people. Like there's some of you like, oh, this is just sad. But we don't know if there's an evolution of the character. We don't know if there's more things that happen. And I'm glad we don't see that in in the trailers.
And that again, that's something else because I don't even get the gist of what the actual story is yet, but I don't care because you have stars like this too that are so fun to watch. Like I tell you, but I'm not the biggest fan of Wakanda Forever. I did not like that movie that much, but Riri, whoo, that character is so much fun.
So we're getting 3 episodes. It drops on June 24th. So here's the log line for the premiere episode. After being expelled from MIT and stripped of her tech, teen genius Riri Williams returns to Chicago. A chance encounter leads her into orbit of a dangerous crew. When she uses a brain mapping device to repair her broken suit, she accidentally brings back a hologram AI of her dead best friend. So that's Natalie. Natalie is her AI.
Okay.
So we've seen.
So that's the VR little person. Okay.
That's her AI.
Got it. So
that's why if you notice in the trailer the way they talk is of her best friend.
Okay. So I get the show. I'm being an idiot.
No, go ahead.
It's like a. I'm trying to think of another show that kind of has the same kind of projection kind of thing. It's like a projection of somebody, right? Or how?
Yes.
Okay.
So for me,
other people can see it, or just
no, she can see it as a hologram. So
okay,
here's the thing. So for me, this is how I'm gonna go way back. My brain again. I'm loaded with what a lot of people may call useless information and knowledge. Mm-hmm. But I'm also loaded with a lot of stuff from old TV shows and movies. Some people do remember, some people don't. Her version of her Natalie, her holographic AI, reminds me of Selma from the show Time Tracks. Time Tracks was a show where there was a dude, he was a cop from the future, and he went back in the past to catch a bunch of criminals from the past who escaped, criminals from the future who escaped to the past. And he had a holographic AI that helped him out. And I'm trying to remember what else is in the, it's also, it's similar to, now, I don't know. I wouldn't know if this is the perfect example. Quantum Leap. So Al was Sam's hologram.
Yeah.
But only Sam can see Al. I don't think that's the case with this one.
Okay. See, that's my question. Because you would think to build that, to be that, and this is, I'm getting so like over the top. This is not important, nerdy. But you'd have to have the cameras all around the room to project that to you.
No, you don't.
So she has just like one tech on her that projects it or something.
Yeah. She's that because here's the basic. So I gave
you see how unimportant and nerdy it's making me think, and that's how excited I am about this.
But that's show. So here's the breakdown from the whole series. Set after the events of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Ironheart pits technology against magic. When Riri, determined to make her mark on the world, returns to her hometown of Chicago. Her unique take on building iron suits is brilliant, but in pursuit of her ambitions, she finds herself wrapped up with the mysterious yet charming Parker Robbins, aka the Hood, played by Anthony Ramos. Now, we know this show has the Hood, which has magic. We know also, and I don't know if you've been told, if you didn't know, I'm telling you right now, Mephisto is in this show officially.
Sure. Okay, Jay. Okay, Mephisto is in this show. They always say Mephisto's in it. How do you know Mephisto?
Sacha Baron Cohen is Mephisto in Ironheart. Now what? Try me again.
Okay. Keep your secrets.
Try me again. What I wanted to bring up, now if you notice he said technology against magic. That's a key thing I need y'all to hear. Because we're leading up to some things.
Mm-hmm.
What's the big thing we're leading up to now?
Doomsday.
That's technology versus magic. With this against magic. So okay.
I'm trying to see if you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
So that's with Doom, he's technology and magic.
Yeah. And it's Robert Downey Jr., the one who has developed all the technology in this world
and
magic. Oh, it's fucking, and you're seeing it start. The seeds start to plant here. I'm loving it, Jay.
Because we've already
loving
right,
it.
because magic has always been around, right? Ever since once Doctor Strange got into the mix, magic is there.
And they showed you that it goes back in time. They've been around for a minute.
It's been around. Now, all it's going to take, it's similar. I got your message. I'm going to say, give me 1 second. So all it's going to take is, remember in Age of Ultron, when they were on the ship, on the freight, and he was like, it's in some language, Wakaneda, and he was like, Wakanda. You're going to have a moment where somebody says Latveria, and that's it.
Exactly. Oh my God, I would love that so much.
So just to mention, right? You just mention it. And then it's like, because we know Doom is coming, but Doom is going. So also, I don't know if you've heard, and I believe this too, Robert Downey Jr. is not the only Doom. And I don't think that he's going to be our Doom for Doomsday, but I don't think he's going to be our Doom going forward.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because you're not just going to
one-off Doom.
It's hard because it's difficult, because it's like the next saga is the mutant saga.
Don't really need Doom.
I mean, you really don't, but I think you can just eliminate him now to go back to him later. Because once everything is done, I think after Doomsday, we're in the mutant saga. Everything is about mutants.
Yeah. So
like now the world, and for those who don't know what that means, like, oh, are we not going to talk about the event? Everybody's going to exist. Mm-hmm. All the players are there. So the Avengers are here. Fantastic Four is here. Spider-Man is here, et cetera, et cetera. All these people are here, but we're focusing on the mutants' lives.
How I want to explain it and how it looks to me is X-Men 97. There's an Iron Man in that universe, but we're focused on the mutants.
Yes,
we see Iron Man. There's a Fantastic Four in that universe, but we're focused on the mutants.
Yes.
There's a Spider-Man in that universe, but we're focused on the mutants.
Yeah,
that's how I see the MCU going forward.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. And I'm going, look at you learning. Look at you learning.
You know what? Every now and then, something it rubs off on me, Jay. I get better thanks to being around you, bro.
Pause. Okay. Henry Cavill. Excuse me. Hugh Jackman, because I was thinking about Wolverines. He's been showing himself working out, getting ready for Doomsday.
Oh,
you know he's in it.
I know. Everyone knows he's in it.
So he gonna probably give us one. He has to have. I don't think his official goodbye. We haven't had his official goodbye. And I think. Go ahead.
I think if he obviously he's going to be in Doomsday because all the other X-Men are going to be in Doomsday, and I think he's going to be in Secret Wars. But I think those are the only two that he's going to be in. I don't think we're going to see him in another X-Men movie. I don't think we're going to see him. I don't even think we'll see him in another Deadpool movie. I think Deadpool will move on to another.
I think Deadpool might be done.
I think we have to see one more Deadpool because
one official full Deadpool movie.
Yes. I think we do, and now in the MCU, and now in the new universe that is created after Secret Wars.
Yeah,
I think we will need one Deadpool movie, and because there's still the unleft. Will they? Won't they? Of what's her name? Marina Baccarin's character, Vanessa. Yeah. Because it just ends with them just saying hello. You get one more, a little happy ending there. Maybe we get to actually get some more with Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I thought we really wasted them in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think it was just to have them in. I think it was just to have all the players that you remember. Mm-hmm. I think that's really what that was. Because I know you kind of. I
wish we would have led more into them rather than into Peter. There was too much. I don't like Peter as much as I like all of them.
Well, I hear you. I think for me, and I'm not sure how a lot of y'all feel listening, Peter is that grounded to reality that grounded to reality person for Wade.
Mhm.
Whereas Wade kind of wants to have a normal life in a sense.
Yeah.
And granted, Peter is like, I'm a hero. And they're like, hey, bro, chill out. You're like, you're just Peter, dog. You're Peter.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. So that's that. Let me see if I got anything else from okay, I can do do I want to do this one? Nah. Oh, nah. I'm just making sure I get all the Marvel stuff because it's a lot of Superman stuff and a lot of Superman adjacent stuff. So we got the final trailer, which
James Gunn DCU.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got the final trailer for Super, which I got to do a trailer. I watched. I'm debating if I'm gonna do a trailer reaction at this point, but I watched some of it. So, there's one more thing. I forgot to do this one. There's one more thing. So the Midnight Suns are coming. What?
I've watched some of it. I got to figure out if I'm gonna do a trailer reaction or not. That's your way of saying I've watched the trailer. I got to figure out if I should rewatch it and pretend to just.
No. I've never pretended to just watch.
That was real time catching himself. Oh, my man, kayfabe.
This may seem like, oh, this nigga never just really watches trailers. He just let me tell you something. 99.5% of the trailer reaction y'all see me do is when I have just woken up in the morning. 99.5. The other 0.5% is I've been up and they dropped in the middle of the day. Okay. So the Midnight Suns are coming, right? For those who are unfamiliar with the Midnight Suns, there's Moon Knight, there's Blade, there's Ghost Rider, Wolverine, couple other people, right? Let me see who else is normally part of it. Hannibal King, Jennifer Kale, Doctor Strange, Morbius. Now, different people, right? There's
it's Morbin time, baby.
So the normally, so mad he did this. Normally,
you brought up the name. Don't feed the bear.
Normally, the Midnight Suns, spelled SONS normally, but once they started incorporating female members, they're SUNS now. They're normally led by Blade, but there is a rumor that they won't be led by Blade when they're assembled in the MCU. There's going to be a different leader. You know who the leader is rumored to be?
Wolverine?
No.
Moon Knight. All right, I'm out. Go.
Ghost Rider.
Okay, a new Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Now, so I don't know if you all have heard this. They tried to get Nicolas Cage back for Deadpool and Wolverine, but it is kind of hard for him to get the taste out of his mouth of Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. Because Ghost Rider itself wasn't that bad.
No. I like the first Ghost Rider movie. I don't care what anyone. I think it's
Ghost Rider itself wasn't that bad. Spirit of Vengeance is horrible.
Spirit of Vengeance just feels like a very long music video
for no reason.
Yeah,
with Idris Elba in it.
It literally feels like one of Nick Cage's fever dreams.
That's more. It feels like a fever dream.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rumor, it's a possibility of having now again. Blade hasn't been officially introduced yet. If you don't realize this, and yes, we know that's his voice at the end of the Eternals, but he technically hasn't been introduced, and technically the film was never officially announced happening yet.
No,
so there are things about that I am very privy to. There are things about the Blade movie that I know a lot about. And I am always wondering every week, do I tell y'all? Because I know a lot of shit that I can pretty much guarantee that not any of your scoopers, journalists, some of my close friends don't even know in this business.
That includes me.
And here's how I know it. Because I know the cast members of the movie. So I'm privy to a lot of shit that is happening or not happening with that film. I'll just say this. Expect Blade to pop up in something else before you get Blade in a solo film. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
I think that'll make it easy to say for everything.
Yeah.
Expect to see Blade in some other movie before you see a solo Daywalker movie. Because okay.
With that said, this would never ever happen. But how fucking cool would it be for a Midnight Suns movie with Oscar Isaac, Nicolas Cage, Hugh Jackman, Wesley Snipes, maybe even Benedict Cumberbatch if you want to throw that in too. But
shit, Ryan Reynolds is Hannibal King.
Ryan Reynolds is Hannibal King. How awesome would that be? Just a fucking one-off movie.
Oh man.
Get Ryan Coogler in there to direct it.
Ryan who?
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, because you straight said Googler.
Oh.
And
because bruh, get that Sinners vibe to it. How awesome would that fucking be?
Ooh.
Could never happen, but man, one of those things you just wish.
Hold on for a second. I want to see something real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a very, very good thing to see if it could happen. Oh my god, it'd be so dope to see. It's just one of those things you want to see. So Superman. Let's go into DC because there's a bunch of Superman
DC.
stuff.
Moving on.
So this kind of is the bridge because Eddie Gathegi, who plays Mr. Terrific in Superman, was also Darwin in X-Men First Class. And remember,
Darwin.
Yes, and speaking of the disrespect, he was talking to Entertainment Weekly, and he admitted he agrees with the fans when we all say they were not wrong. He acknowledged.
I didn't know that's where you're going to go.
This is what he said. What he's like, I think there was just a case of bad representation and missed opportunity. There was a lot they could have done with that character and probably should have done with that character. I was waiting to be brought back after First Class because, the character doesn't die. The fact that he died in the first one isn't that big of a deal if he does what he does in the comics, which is come back. Every movie that came out and a character didn't come back, it solidified that it was a misrepresentation and a missed opportunity. He said, so, he feels like Superman is a second, chance of the blockbuster role, excuse me. He goes on saying, this job is kind of undoing the wrongs of Darwin. I know that as it stands right now, this isn't the only project that I'll be in. Love to hear it.
I love to hear it.
You love to hear it. So, I just wanted to make sure because I brought that. I saw that. I was like, we got to talk about that. But speaking of the Superman,
I'm very interested in his Mr. Terrific because the only knowledge of Mr. Terrific I have is from Arrow. That is my
shouts out to the homie Echo Keller.
Hell yeah.
Two of the homies, Echo, yeah. I mean, it's just he's a former Olympian who's also a genius. He's a genius. He creates, a whole bunch of things. So
is the character the Echo? Because Echo played it was almost very neurotic, almost.
Yeah,
because he was very but he didn't seem like the Olympian that you say he is. Yes. So I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a different take too.
Just a little bit.
More
Just a bit.
closer to his comic book.
Yes.
Okay.
So speaking of Superman, there was his final trailer released, and in the thing, it is revealed that he is fighting somebody that also has heat vision, which everybody was like, what the fuck? So there is a belief that it could be Ultraman. Now, if you know in the comics and in the even in some of the animated universe, yeah, Ultraman is the evil alternate universe version of Superman. That's who Ultraman is.
Mm-hmm.
But it is leaning towards that it may not be Ultraman. It may actually be. Okay, I'm gonna say it just like this. Here we go. They say it may not be Ultraman.
I want y'all to know that Jay is like he's egging it on. He's bringing out the noise, and y'all are waiting to hear this. So am I. I don't freaking know what he's about to say, and I'm on the edge of my freaking seat here, and he's just dragging it out.
It's a possibility. It may be Bizarro.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking the Ultraman under that suit is going to be a deformed.
Yeah.
However, Bizarro don't have heat vision. Bizarro has ice vision.
This is true. This is very true. So we don't know yet. So there could be, it could be Hael, a Kryptonian who believed himself to be a space explorer working for the great scientists Jor-El and Lara Voran. Unbeknownst to him, he was actually an illegal clone of several Kryptonians raised to believe he was naturally born. So he might have slipped to Earth. Luthor found him and has had him, and then Superman shows up.
There's a clone story of Ultraman too, right? That he's a clone of Superman, right?
Yeah, there's a clone, and that's what this one might be. But again,
see, that's where here's what I'm thinking. Here's why I'm thinking it's the clone, because we have a Supergirl, we have a Crypto. It's not far to believe that we're going to eventually have a Superboy, which is always done by cloning. And it's always involved Lex Luthor. So it wouldn't hurt to know that, he's already done this. He's created an Ultraman. Well, that one didn't work. That's what brings in the Superboy.
Right, which means he could be an early version of Bizarro.
That is true. That is true.
So if it is the Hael, from Krypton, there's so many ways. Again, this is James Gunn. So I would always say, look at it as the more obscure, the better.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to be straight on the fucking money with Gunn.
I don't know if this is on your news, but I heard a quote that James Gunn said, there's been metahumans in this world for 300 years already.
Yeah, in his world, everybody exists already.
And I like that. I like that we're not going through this whole, we have to build the world. No, the world is built and we're just jumping into it. Thank you. I appreciate that. We have a back history. We have a history, and we can watch the history going forward. I love that.
Well, to say in this one, we can actually go into that. And now it's like, look, we can just tell the stories.
Exactly. We don't need to do what we've done already. We don't need to see the beginnings of this universe. We don't need to see Iron Man, Captain America. We need to just jump right into it and go forward. And it's going to work. I'm so excited. I have a lot of faith in the GDCU. And I don't know why they didn't call it the GDCU, because that sounds so goddamn cool.
First of all, now with what you just said,
exactly.
GDCU, goddamn cool universe. That's what I
Guns. DCU,
I know what you meant. I know what you meant. It just when you said it, I was like, I know he means Guns DCU, but it's like goddamn cool. Okay?
It works there too.
I don't think he wanted to call it his universe. I mean, to him, it's
I know.
It's not my universe.
He didn't put himself in the Creature Commando credits. The writers did that for him, and I love that they did that. But I just give yourself a little credit, bro.
Who was the writer? Who was the writer of Creature Commandos?
James Gunn. Not the writers, the animators. Okay, so he put himself in there. Then fuck it, call it the GDC.
Because I'm like, you're not going to sit here and tell me the writers. This motherfucker wrote 6 out of 8 episodes.
Listen, you know, sometimes I don't use words properly. Okay, all words are interchangeable. Writer was like illustrator too. Same thing. Shut
the fuck up. I'm opening up the emails from the Mad Titan Podcast email right now. I'm trying to see if we got anything. We got like at least one.
You need to make that a sound clip of just a very quiet. Shut the fuck up.
And you know, I didn't mean it to even sound like that. It just so happened me going.
You can't help it.
It just came out me going. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh shit.
All right. Here we go. I got that. When I'm pulling this up, boom. Cool. Don't switch. All right. So that's that. So also speaking of James Gunn and his DCU, he actually addressed the fact. He responds to the perception that quote unquote all DC fans want to see Robert Pattinson's Batman in the DCU. So this is what he responded to a fan on social media. Now, James Gunn, if you say some out of pocket shit to him on Twitter, he's gonna respond. So the Batman sequel.
Hi, hello. I'm recording right now.
Hi, Dakota.
Okay. Hey, look. Do you remember Jay? Do you remember Jay? No.
I remember you.
Okay.
The dog was in BC's face.
Listen, I gotta finish recording. I need you to go outside. All right. Okay. Go.
So
Hey,
the Batman sequel is expected to commence production to make. It's supposed to start doing production. Excuse me. It's going to release August 1st, 2027, which is crazy, right? Robert Pattinson. Now, people are hoping that Robert Pattinson will stick around to play Batman for the Brave and the Bold movie. Now, all right, I'm with you. So some people say it would make the most sense, but this is what James Gunn. So James Gunn was adamant that there's going to be a new Batman and a new take on the Cape Crusader introduced. This is what he said, quote, "What Matt's doing is still really important, despite all stories to the contrary. We are supposed to see that script shortly, and I can't wait." He said, so somebody asked a fan for him to take a look at an article laying out all of the benefits of integrating Pattinson's Batman into the DCU. And they said, "Please have a look at this article, James. The internet is buzzing with this topic. All of us DC fans want this." And put in parentheses, "I think you want it too." And James Gunn said in his response, which was the best shit ever, he put in quotations, "All would be pushing it," which is the truth. Which is the truth. I don't know why people want to make it seem like everybody wants a certain thing. BC stepped up. I'll just keep talking. I don't know why certain fans try to make it seem like because they want something every single fan does. That's not the case. And many times they're not even the majority. They're not the majority.
They're just the vocal minority.
The vocal minority. So
screaming into the void of Twitter.
So sitting going, all of us fans want him. No, you don't. Also, let's just be honest with ourselves for a second, please. Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves' Batman does not fit in the James Gunn world.
No.
He doesn't. Aesthetically.
I mean, he could, but
explain to me how. No. Since you said and you don't get to go past it
because we have not seen Gotham yet, other than a animated version of it. And if you look at animated, what's his name, Frank Grillo, animated Frank Grillo against the live action version of him, they look completely different. So yes,
That's
we
not
technically could. However,
still not saying that still doesn't justify
in that world, in the Batman world, I cannot see the characters that James Gunn's creating into there. Does that make
Here's
sense?
why. To me, no, honestly. And I'm not trying to shit on what you said.
I know.
Because here's what it is. Yes, Rick Flag Sr. is going to look different than Rick Flag in real life. Absolutely.
Yes.
I get that. But we're not talking animated to live action. We're talking about
but the only version of Gotham we have seen is the animated.
I don't give a fuck. Sorry, that was too rough. That was way too rough, and he did not deserve that. I am still slightly hungover, and I still got a sober. I'm doing a taping today and have no idea what I'm putting on. So here's the thing.
But that doesn't mean it needs to be, or it is a good idea to do.
No, this is what I meant, and I'm not to shit on what you said, though. Look at how Matt Reeves' Batman looks. Just the Batman, right?
Yeah.
Not how Gotham looks or anything, just how his Batman looks. Look at the colors and all the different things and the way things stand out in general. Even people that wear black, how they stand out in just Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Even the bad guys, how when they wear dark, that does not fit in that aesthetic. There is a vibrance that he will bring, that he always brings, even to the darker characters. And again, I know I know that Superman's a dark and brooding. I mean, not Superman. Excuse me. Batman's a dark and brooding character. But when you go to even I'll go back to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Look at the High Evolutionary.
Mm-hmm. Still very bright, vibrant. I see what you're saying.
Still pops out.
Yeah.
And granted, I know we're like, hey, well, what about black on black? Look at Ultraman. Look at all the different suits we see in the trailer. There's a different, it pops out. It does. That grayish, dark grayish, grim hue that the bat suit has in the Batman doesn't fit.
No.
That emo look.
I see what you're saying, and I agree to mostly. I'm just saying, on devil's advocate, I can see the argument. I understand it. I don't like the argument. I think it's dumb because we don't need that. All right. Not to mention, that's a very early Batman. Also, in that real world Batman, we can get characters like Riddler, Penguin. We can get the Court of Owls, Hush. We can get in this other Batman.
That's another reason
you
just brought it up.
Killer Croc.
Yes.
Mr. Freezes.
And nothing. You cannot get like you just said it. This is
Scarface.
This is an early version of Batman from the Matt Reeves one, right? Brave and the Bold. He's teaming with his fucking son,
who is the third Robin, maybe fourth. So that means there's already been 3 Robins, which means he's already had a whole career by himself as Batman, then a career with Nightwing, then a career where Jason Todd died, and then Nerdy Tim Drake. And then he's got a kid.
You see what I'm saying? So you're not gonna, no. It just, let us have a different, he'll figure out who's gonna be his Batman, and we'll go with that. All right. But I think that's all I got as far as news goes, because there hasn't been much. Again, everything is building up to Fantastic Four, to Superman, Ironheart, which is June 24th. Excuse me.
So excited.
But I do have an email from Fredtastic314. I love Fred Castillo, who always sends us emails. He's a definite supporter.
The homie, man. That's the homie.
Which I appreciate much. And this is his email. It says, hey, Mad Titan in BC. I'm beginning to worry about Marvel and its sustainability on the big screen. I know this sounds weird, but from a business point of view, the money dictates the business. They moved Doomsday to December, which makes sense in filming, but bills still need to get paid. Captain America and Thunderbolts weren't profitable, but puts all the pressure on Fantastic Four to carry the load, which means Fantastic Four needs to make $1.5 billion to relieve the pressure from the next Avengers movie. Spider-Man New Day won't be a big moneymaker for Marvel because they only get 25% of the profits. Unless Doomsday is a massive success, then even more pressure will be on Secret Wars to keep money in the bank so they don't begin the mutant saga on a tight budget. One of my favorite movie lines is, quote, war is war, but business is business, end quote. And I can't disregard the fact that money keeps the doors open. Look forward to hearing your opinions, and thanks for reading my email, Fred C. Thank you for that email. It's a very good one, very loaded. So, Cap 4 was profitable. Cap 4 actually was profitable. It made its money back. It did what it's supposed to do. Thunderbolts did not break even. That is true. But, yeah, Thunderbolts didn't break even.
That's disappointing. I really liked
It wasn't surprising.
I know. Go on. Finish.
No.
That was just shocking to me. That threw me off.
Well, no, the reason I said it wasn't surprising was because you put a team together where all of the characters weren't fully fleshed for a lot of people. Again, if you have not seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, you do not know who U.S. Agent is. You don't know who MAGA Cap is, right? If you barely may remember who Ghost is. You know, if you didn't see Black Widow, you have zero idea who Taskmaster was or who Red Guardian is. Let alone, unless you watched Hawkeye after watching Black Widow, you didn't know who Yelena Belova was.
I will say, my buddy Zach, he had never seen Black Widow, and at the end of the movie, he still didn't understand the relationship between Red Guardian and Yelena.
Exactly. So it is one of these things, unfortunately, where I hate that I'm finally saying this. It does become somewhat kind of homework with the MCU, where you do need to know the players beforehand, right?
Yeah.
You do need to know them. I understand the point with that. So that was that. But Cap made money. So Cap didn't do these incredible dumbass numbers. And I don't think it ever was going to. You know, I think for a film that was, number one, riddled with having to do reshoots, which major reshoots, extensive reshoots. Reshoots in itself are normal within any film with any film in general. Reshoots always happen, unless you're a Tyler Perry movie. Then what you see is what you fucking get. But it's just the truth. What you see is what you get. But when it comes to Cap, the script had to be redone, reshoots had to be added because scenes had to be taken away from a certain character because of different events, et cetera, et cetera. But it did make its money back. I know that because, again, I talked to Captain America himself. I think we tend to forget that we and I say this as a general statement, we act as if every time a movie comes out, after the film is either done or releases, Marvel is starting at zero in the bank, when we're forgetting exactly how many billion-dollar franchises they've had. And I think a lot of us don't take into consideration how much $1 billion is also. I think also a lot of us, I said this, I think on the last episode, if you're not in the studio office industry part, the executive part, the numbers part, why the fuck do you care? That was a general statement I'm making. That's just to anybody. But it was a general statement
I was about to say I couldn't. This is video, right? You watch it on YouTube sometimes. I wasn't able to hide my face while you was reading that. And I was like, Freddie, come on, Freddie, look at me, Freddie, dog.
And it's not just to Fred. It's just
I know.
But why do you care? And I understand it's keeping the line, and I get it, I do. But we keep forgetting we're talking about a franchise that is sustained. That every time a movie seems to do low for Marvel, it is now because Marvel rode on such a high, right? Every time you have maybe one or two movies that do low, quote unquote, numbers, oh, can they sustain it? It's getting ready to go out of business. They're gonna go bankrupt. That's not happening. I understand what you're saying, and I don't think a lot of I think the only weight on Fantastic Four is to be better than what Fox has done. I legit think that's the only real weight on that movie. Is to
be a good movie. That's the only thing that be good.
Is be a good Fantastic Four movie. Yes, it is a blockbuster film. It absolutely is. Would we like to see it hit $1 billion? Absolutely. When the tracking stuff comes out, they're gonna be like, Fantastic Four is tracking about 150, 160. You know they're gonna say some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's a thing. But them moving Doomsday to December was a smart move because
Take the
you're like,
Christmas
hey,
season, baby.
Christmas season is a hellified box office generator. If we're gonna be worried about the box office again, it is a box office. Families go to the theaters like crazy. But not only just that, it gives them time to finish the film correctly. If this movie is such the massive scale that it's set to be, then you need to have this time to do it right. This way, San Diego Comic-Con, Comic-Con XP in Brazil, and wherever else, they can bring you footage. Instead of just, we're shooting.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. We shooting.
We should. We out there. Look at it. Look at the chair. Look at the chair.
So
has the name on it. It's a chair.
I just think that people, are thinking like, like there's even some people who go into like, this means that Superman is gonna make Marvel look bad. No, again, you all underestimate who Kevin Feige is because Feige wants all of it to succeed.
Dog, underneath Kevin Feige's suit right now, he's got a Superman shirt on right now. I guarantee. Because a rising tide raises all ships. All right, we need superhero movies all to be good because that makes us want to go see the other superhero movie. Okay? That's how you do it. Make good movies and we'll come see them. That's what just hope and pray for a good movie. That's it.
And so I think a lot of people have to remember and remind themselves, look, this movie's going to make money. Look, it's not going to be, oh man, they don't have another movie coming out until that. If this one, that's fine. Yes, Spider-Man Brand New Day is Sony's movie. Absolutely. But and they only get 25% of the profits.
And listen, they only get 25% of the profits. I don't know if you know this, all right? But there's some mafia tactics that go on behind the scenes, okay? So I bet Marvel getting a little more than they cut. You know what I'm saying? I bet Marvel's fine with how their deal with Spider-Man is. Sony's like, okay, yeah, here's your money. There you go. Keep making us money. You make us money, we'll make more bad ones. Thank you.
Hey, to those of you guys watching at home, I know you guys can't, if you're listening, you can't see this, but those of you watching, do you know what the fuck just happened? Because I don't. I have no idea what
people worry, well, Marvel only gets 25% of Spider-Man. Marvel gets enough money from Spider-Man. Trust me.
Trust me. Enough money. That's why Marvel makes enough money. And you're absolutely correct because clearly Marvel gets enough where the deal has still been intact.
Yeah.
The deal is still intact. Only when it comes to which is crazy because it's only when it comes to Spider-Man.
Is the deal working? Because they make a lot of money and then Sony blows all the money they made from the Marvel Spider-Man movies on movies that don't make any money.
Well, and now officially the Spumsy universe is done.
Yep.
So that's done. So now we don't have to worry about that anymore. So now Sony is like, all right.
Here's my question, Jay. In 20 years, are the kids that have grown up watching the Venom trilogy, are they going to become the ones that get in the power and bring back and finally do that Venom 4? You think that's going to take like 20 years till we get the love for them like we now have for Elektra and Daredevil? "20 years from now, Jay, we can do a reaction. We can go see Venom 4, maybe, man." You know what's going to happen. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, buddy.
I don't want to see.
Oh, that's Tom Hardy come back.
Eddie, I missed you. It's been so long. Where have you been? I've been drinking.
God damn it!
Is that why you smell like
retired
wild
from
turkey?
this shit.
Is that why you smell like wild turkey? You've been eating turkeys. Where's Mrs. Chan? Mrs. Chan's dead, buddy. Oh no!
Throw the suit on.
I hate that you brought that up, but I don't think that'll happen. Also, I don't think there's an appreciation for.
I don't know. That won't happen.
Also, I don't think there's an appreciation for Elektra right now. Listen.
Oh, come on. We all love Jennifer Gardner.
No. The movie?
But Jennifer Gardner was in the movie, so we love Jennifer Gardner.
Jennifer Gardner's Elektra in Daredevil.
All right,
let's not do that. Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
Well, no. Here's my question: Spirit of Vengeance.
Man, that's all we got for this week, y'all. I appreciate everybody that's been listening and watching and rocking with us. Thank you, Frank Castile, for the email. If you want to send an email, you can send it madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. I don't believe he asked me that fucking question and thought I was going to give him an answer for that. I appreciate y'all. Listen, if you want to go ahead and show a lot of love and support, please join the Supervillain Squad over on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I thought I had people for the one-on-one thing, and I can't find it. I don't know what's going on. And BC supposed to be doing BC's bullshit. I got to do some other nerdly news. The only reason this taping worked to do this now is because we found out every time we were trying to record during the week in the morning, it is when everyone's using the internet in the city. So it goes slow. We did this and had zero issues.
Not a one. Other than maybe the puppy running in.
Yeah. I have the computer that Winston gave me. I have to finish setting it up because I also lost my SD card reader because I've been meaning to edit clips on my TikTok to put stand-up clips up there. But by the way, you can check that out. Follow me on social media at Mr. J Washington all across the board. How can you find this person that's my co-host?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Letterboxd. I think that's the movie thing I'm on at The Grind Calls, and of course over on the Patreon. You know what? I just started watching Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman.
Do reviews of that, please.
I'm going to. I'm gonna put some up on the Patreon, man. I'm really excited because it's fucking Dean Cain, man.
Before he lost his damn mind.
Superman suit in the fucking pilot.
What did you say? All I heard was
him mama sews up his Superman suit in the pilot and gives him all sorts of different. There's like a zebra one and fucking shit.
Yep.
I remember how big this was. It was a big deal, man. Superman was. And now I looked at the pilot and I went, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. So yeah, do that. He will have those reviews up. I got to put up some. I'm going to talk some wrestling stuff. I got to throw up there. Yeah, I've been trying to I got to get this computer going because. And also, if you want to support to the GoFundMe, which is still going, I'm going to have BC reposted and all this other stuff. Please donate to the thing because it's just like I can't work and it sucks. Like we were walking and I was like, hey, man, let me tell you how I almost had to kill BC in Dallas, by the way. So, forgot to tell y'all this in the beginning of the story. I'm glad I waited till the end of the show. We were getting ready to go to the show that I had on Sunday. We parked and I guess we were all going to go to dinner and meet up with some friends of his. Cool. So we parked in a spot that was a block, like 2 spots down from when the comedy club was. Cool. Now, it's hot as fuck outside. But
97 degrees.
But I'm dressed to get ready to perform. So we walking. I'm thinking we walking like a half block. Cool. We still walking. I said, hey, where the fuck are we going? Oh, man, it's just right there. Where the fuck is right there? So at one point, I just said, fuck this. I'm going back to the club and walked to the club. I was pissed. Maddie walks back with me. She's like, are you okay? I said, if I wasn't staying with him, I'd choke his life out. I was like, this bitch ass motherfucker just kept walking and didn't even bother to come back. Just stayed. This was gone. I said, okay. Okay.
So I didn't know where the place was neither. I knew it was 7 minutes away. That's all I knew. And so we walked out, and I kept walking because I was like, oh, here it is. There we go. And I told you, shirt before the shirt, my guy. It's too hot to be walking around in your clothes in Texas.
That's not the point.
I know it was the back, and honestly, I actually did not know the place was that damn far. And it's actually a good thing you went back because those seats were extremely uncomfortable and had no back to them. So you would have been even more miserable there. However, Zach said the wings were all right. I didn't either.
Holla at y'all next week. Maybe with a new co-host. Who knows?
It's been nice, Jim. It's been nice.
It's been fun, hasn't it? It's been real. Just like my back was in real pain.
At least I got you a chair.
I was having...
You didn't even talk about how much you would love with my goddamn chair. All right?
Oh, hey,
my
look.
chair over here giving you fucking back shots and shit.
First of all, can you not say it that way? First of all, can you not?
Was it not? Was
it was not.
not?
So he has one of those things where you put like the massage pad, like the shiatsu pad on his chair, and you just sit it, and it's like has the shiatsu balls that knead into your back and lower back. Man, I was sitting in that bitch, and I think the first time I was like, because I had my old roommate had one, and when I moved, I was thinking about stealing it, and I didn't, and I regret it now. I thought about stealing theirs when I was there, but I didn't, and I regret it too. But I couldn't fit it in my carry-on bag.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought he loved it so much. I thought about giving it to him, but I was like, man, he'd have to pay to check that.
Yeah, and I ain't got them. And I was sitting there in the chair. At one point, it hit like it'll do like rolling or do kneading. And at one point, it did rolling, and it rolled into a spot in my back where like it was a knot in my lower back, and it was my muscles were spazzing. And I said, "Oh yes," and I was like, "Oh my bad." Oh, my bad. I was like, oh, I should not have done that. I think I came. I had an orgasm. I was like, oh, give it to me. Like, you know, I just felt really weird about myself at that moment. I was like, oh my God, I'm questioning my sexuality with this chair. Like, I think I'm a chair sexual. And, gotta go. Bye.